Good afternoon and welcome to the next installment of my Mindset Matters series. My name is David Whiteley with UL Trades. Thank you for checking us out today. If you haven't yet and you find this information at all relevant or valuable, we appreciate a subscribe. That helps us to get the word out and so that more people see our content. So today, and I guess the Mindset Matters series, if you're unaware, every day or so I try and provide just one little short tip or trick as it relates to mindset matters, because in my opinion that's really the key to being a successful trader is the mindset that you apply to it. It's easy to learn technical analysis. It's easy to learn a strategy. What really makes the difference in the super successful traders, which I'm not claiming to be super successful, I'm still on the journey myself, but as I see the most successful traders out there, their mindset, the way they look at things, the way they handle their emotions is what sets them apart and brings them that success, more so even than the strategy. So the last couple, I've been sharing with you the five, what does he call them? The 5 fundamental truths as it relates to eliminating emotional risk. Again, emotional risk is sort of that, we have that reptilian brain, right? The fight or flight instinct that's supposed to keep us alive and save us from lions and tigers and bears and the things that want to eat us and kill us. And when we're in a trade, those same instincts kick in, okay? Except winning or losing a trade isn't going to kill us or eat us or hurt us, other than it's going to change the balance in our account. So we need to learn to manage those emotions and what we perceive as risk. All right, so the 2 we've already covered is number 1, anything can happen. You've got to accept that going in. Number 2, you don't need to know what's going to happen in order to make money. You enter a trade based on your strategy. You don't have to know what's going to happen next. Don't be looking at the chart every minute trying to guess what's going to happen next. You don't know. All you know is this moment in time, what information the chart is telling you. And if you execute based on that information, hopefully your backtesting and your strategy tells you that some percentage of the time, this information that you're seeing right now is followed by something favorable for you. So number 3 is there is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. So let me read that again. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. So it doesn't matter what your edge is, okay? The distribution is random. So what does that mean? Well, if you have a strategy that claims a 70% success rate, in other words, if you entered every single signal that you received based on your strategy, 7 out of 10 of those would make you money, 3 out of 10 of those would lose you money. That's, the statistics. What this is saying is the distribution of those 7 wins or 3 losses is totally random, okay? So if you're a gambler, which I'm not, but I used to live close to Las Vegas, and we'd walk through casinos from time to time because there's hotels at casinos, and to go to the hotel, you have to walk through the casino. And if you've ever played roulette, right, which is the game with a spinning wheel with all the numbers on it, and they drop a ball in there, and it lands on a number, and depending on which number it lands on, you win or you lose. And one of the bets you can make in roulette is red or black. Half of the spots are red, half the spots are black. So you've got a 50-50 chance that you're going to hit one of those. And a lot of times I'll have a little board up there that shows you the last, I don't know, maybe 10, 5, 10, 20 numbers that were hit, and it shows you their colors. And some people will look at that and say, oh, look, there's been 6 reds in a row. The chances that the next one is black is higher because we've had 6 reds in a row. The reality is that's not the way that it works. Every time that ball hits that wheel, there's a 50-50 chance that it's going to land on one or the other. Okay? It doesn't matter what the last 6, 10, 100 were. Okay? This specific instance of that ball hitting that wheel is a 50-50 chance. And so we have to remember that going into trades, which can be really difficult if your 3 losing trades and your 70% average all happen in a row, because that could be the case. You could have 3 perfect entries, you executed it exactly as you were supposed to, and it still lost. That happens. That could happen 3 times. Just because you've had 1, 2, or 3 losers in a row doesn't mean the next one won't be a loser. And likewise, just because you've had 2, 3, or 4 winners in a row doesn't necessarily mean that the next one's going to be a winner. Did I say that right? So whether you've been on a streak of wins or losses, that doesn't necessarily mean that the next one is going to be a win or a loss, okay? Or just because you've had 4 wins in a row, it doesn't mean that the likelihood now is greater that the next one's going to be a loss. You just don't know. So you have to keep that in mind, that there's a random distribution between wins and losses for any variable as it relates to your edge, okay? So that's why it's important that you don't take the previous trades, you don't carry the baggage from previous trades with you into your next trade, because the previous trade has absolutely nothing to do with the current situation, the current setup, the current price action. The current moment in time doesn't remember what happened before. It doesn't remember what happened 2 minutes before. It doesn't remember what happened, a year before, the way that our psychology wants to try and remind us. It's going to try and tell you, well, I don't know, the last 3 you got in were like sketchy or didn't win, right? The last 3 you got in didn't win, so the odds that this one is going to be a winner are not good. Well, the reality is that's not the case, okay? Again, it goes back to your strategy. Are you following and executing your strategy on every trade consistently? If you can do that, then you will have success over time, which is what we want, right? We don't want to make a decision on our trading based on the last trade. That would be silly. Would you talk to anybody who said, well, my last trade was a loser, I guess I better give this business up? Well, that's just silly. That doesn't make any sense. But our psychology tries to carry that baggage with us, and what it does is it clouds our perspective, and it makes us not see things for what they are, and it makes us not execute our strategy in the right way, okay? So, sorry I was a little rambly today, a little bit longer than I like to take on these normally. But these are topics that I think about all day, every day. Again, I'm not professing to be superior in any way. I'm a student of this process, and I'm trying to really just share the things that I'm learning that I think are valuable. So hopefully you find value. If you do, we'd love a subscription. Hit that subscribe button. Feel free and comment. We reply to all of our comments. We love to hear from you. So have a great day, trade safe, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.